Hey folks, Taco here, and I'm going to be doing a checkup on the roots of this Ficus benjamina. Let's dive in. I've got myself set up here. This is my Ficus benjamina, and it is kind of a nice plant. I'm really still hoping for this bud to take off here, but shape-wise, it's not doing too bad. I've been able to cut it back, and it's gotten some nice thickening down here. It was a cutting, I believe. I do have, I believe, roots coming out the bottom, but really what I'm concerned with is what's going on in here. I can see a little bit of the rock right here. This is a root over rock. So I'll do first is I will try to get this out of the pot. A little tap, and we'll see if it, it does come out. All right. So nice. See, terracotta can dry out plants, but also sometimes it's really nice for keeping plants moist when you keep it moist. Set that aside, and immediately doesn't look too bad. I've got some roots in here, of course. Drainage screen comes out, not too many issues. And as another creator has said many times, Nigel Saunders, that you really need to make sure that you're keeping an eye on this stuff. It's not that you should be worried about it per se, but to make sure you know what's going on in the roots is not a bad idea. So let's see what's going on in the roots. We'll start off with my root hook from that. There's that rock there. Be real careful. So it's a little bit on the dry side, but I think that this tree has not minded it. Again, you can see lots of new growth up here. And what I'm doing is checking, maybe removing this wire. I had it wired to keep it in place on the rock. Yeah, it definitely had some roots wrapped around the rock, but I'm just not sure how secure it might be, or you know how full these roots might be. There's my rock there. So I kind of twisted it on, just kind of perched in the top. It might be good that I'm pulling this apart too. I like to make sure that these roots aren't just going everywhere. I want them all to go in the right direction. So, see, I've got my wire in here. A little gentler. This is a nice gentle tool, but this is super gentle. Just a paintbrush. Let's just scrape the rock there. One extra advantage of it. Check the dirt. It is okay. Is that it's got the brush on it. So even if I'm not able to use the hard end, I can use this brush end to brush things away. And now I'm looking very good, in my opinion. It's a piece of wire I was able to remove already. Not really connected to much, if anything. Let's see if this one's ready to come off too. I'm not sure I can take all of it off, but this one appears to be ready. Just not sure where exactly it is. Oops, sorry, I was a little high there. Again, I got lots and lots of nice roots, but I'm not sure there's enough hugging the rock to make me happy. What I might have to do is raise it up a little bit. Get that sort of hug I want out of it. As a tropical tree, I'm not trying to do an out of season repop. I'm certainly trying to get to a point where it's doing well. All right. I think what I'd had is I had like this sort of. A lot of these roots aren't really thickened up or thickening up per se. Got some time. This thing's ready to go. But again, checking all these little roots is in my best interest. Seeing here's quite a bit going on. It's almost hugging, but not quite. So I do still need to pull it down. I'm going to wrap this back around like that. Now, I know that's not natural. We'll see what happens in the future. Right now, I find that it's probably quite necessary to do so. All right. So one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of my roots, like this, my rocks right here. So I can probably pot it like that without having to worry about any kind of issues. Attack this. That side. There we go. Get a nice Y there. So that's what I'm left with right now, and I'm really, really happy with this. I didn't want super heavy roots. I wanted kind of light roots. So this is a really good sign. Now, got to pick another pot because this thing needs to grow some more. I think I'm going to use a similar pot. This is a little bit bigger. I've got a bunch of them. I don't believe I need to worry about too much when it comes to depth per se. So I think this one might work. Again, I'm not going for any beauty pageant wins here. I'm just trying to get it so it's growing correctly. So I think that's going to be it. I'm going to plant it like that. Just got to fill this with some good soil. I'm going to reuse the soil. It's actually nice soil. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no hands in or anything. It's actually really, really nice. I'll put that back in. Use that as a sort of base. Nestle this in here. Again, I'm trying to really tuck all these roots in. Doesn't look too bad if you ask me. Yeah, it looks all right. Hopefully it'll be a really cool tree. Now I'm gonna get some real soil to fill this up with. I've got a whole bunch of different types of soil I'm gonna use for this. And sorry, I stepped away. I'm still learning to put things in the right place. Use my recycled soil that I've baked. It does work quite well. Ooh. So I'm gonna work on that. And I could definitely use a more substantial scoop here. Scoop. Here we go. So let's raise you guys up so you can see in. Droop here. Where are we drooping from? Right here. There we go. So I'm doing is I'm holding it sort of upright, dumping in all the way around. Scoop. Much larger container, which is good. Get on there. So, doesn't mean I'm done just because I've got it filled up. I need to make sure that all this soil is where it needs to be. And for that, I actually like using this. It is a cocktail spoon that the end broke off of, so I cut it down and now I use it for this purpose as well as others. See how much this is really packing in there? That is what I want. I do want it definitely packed in here. It's really nice. I can kind of do a little twist and spin. Right. Give it a twist and spin. Sorry, you can't see because my hands in the way there. Kind of moves it all in there, you know? Kind of twist and tap. Does a pretty good job of getting everything down in there, you know? I'm not trying to pack it in tight, but I'm trying to get it in there. All that needs to be in. No air bubbles, no pockets. It's all in there, you know? Let's see. Go up and down, and I'm also twisting like this, so it's a really good job of just settling it all in where it needs to be. If there aren't roots, I can just kind of give it a little tap. There's a lot of algae. Oops, there's a big rock. I don't need that in there. A lot of algae. And outside the other container, I would say it's a good thing. It's probably taking a little bit of moisture from the tree. But these ficus do like a little bit of a dry environment, so not the worst thing on the planet. I'm gonna do a little baby scoop all the way around. Make sure I've got it all filled in and packed in. As long as I can still fit more in here within reason, I need to make sure I've got this thing filled up. This is going to be the tree's ability to survive. So I think you saw those roots were all kind of established roots. Here's where we're at. I'll take you down so you can see from a little bit more. Straight on view. All right. So it is, at least mostly, packed in below the level of the rim here. I've mounted up a bit. Now that might change very soon here, because what I got to do now is water it in. So I'm going to take all my tools off. Those are spread around so they wouldn't fall. And I know a lot of folks use kind of the same tool for everything, and it works really well. Some of those tools are really nice too. I like the way each of these tools works for each use. And I think that they would encourage anyone to do it the exact same way. If you like the way it feels, if you like the way it uses, use it that way. Don't let someone else tell you how to practice your discipline. Of course, there are rules to bonsai, you know. We'll always have those, but it is nice to have individuality. So, of course, when it comes to tools, there's always going to be probably a better tool for the job. If like the way yours works, don't worry about using it. Now, one aspect of this particular pot isn't quite convenient is that it is terracotta. That helps to pull moisture out. The other one I had it inside of a plastic container to hold moisture in. So I was using this, which is much smaller, of course, to hold moisture into this, which of course worked quite well. Kept it very moist. Not all of it. Gave it ability to dry out, kind of like a sock. You know, a terracotta pot is sort of like a sock in some ways. And I'm really just trying my best to water this all in. I want to see it drain out, make sure there's no empty spots. Now, I had entertained the idea of putting this inside of another pot sort of like this. It won't hold as much moisture in per se, but it will allow me to put this higher up, get close to the sun, and give me good drainage room down below. I think it will do this. This does have drainage holes in the bottom of this plastic pot. I don't think it's an ugly appearance. You know, if I zoom back out, it's not the worst appearance. It's very generic. It's not very much bonsai as it is malzai, you know, but we'll see what happens. I do really like the way this tree is developing and working. Again, the roots look great. They're small roots, but I expected them to be very new in their development. And this is, yeah, that is going to do it. That's going to be my root over rock Ficus benjamina. Lots and lots of work to be done on this. It is still very, very early in development. Not really working on branches so much as just keeping it compact. We'll see how it does. So, I don't know if you all can see me, but thank you all for joining me. And we'll see what happens. Maybe on the next one, I'll repot something else. Cheers.